Welcome to the Barbershop. I'm your host with the super smart guy, Keith. How you doing?
What's your name again?
Yeah, the guy who reads, Keith. Thank you for reading and knowing knowledge.
You're welcome, Matt from the Barbershop.
I just know gossip and other cool barbershop man stuff, because that's what this show is about.
Yes.
Knowing men.
Manly things.
Yeah. I got a major purchase coming up.
Talk to me.
Man, I don't know what to do. I'm looking at trucks. And I got a cool truck. I like it, but then I have opportunities to get other trucks. It's just, and
everybody has an opportunity.
it's
to get
like,
a truck.
should I cheat on my truck with this other truck? I mean, she's got bigger tires.
Ooh, bigger tires.
But then you start looking at gas mileage. I love a good frugal truck, one that's taking care of your pocketbook. But then I like space. But every now and then
You've got a huge truck, don't you?
I know. It's not good on the gas mileage.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a big Ford, the biggest Ford truck they make, gasoline, not diesel. But it's crew cab, long bed, 4x4.
Yeah.
But then I like four-wheel drive, but that doesn't come without a price, and it affects the economy, fuel economy.
Sure does. So you're in the market for a pickup.
Yeah, and nowadays they all make great trucks. I know people might make comments later like, no, Dodge is the best, or Ford's the best, or, you've always heard Ford found on road dead.
Yep.
And I've heard Dodge had one like dead something on.
I've never heard one for Chevrolet.
Yeah. GMC Government Motors. Yeah. Anyway,
So what?
Toyota makes a great truck.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And Nissan makes a good truck.
They've got that weird Cummins Titan, don't they?
Mm-hmm. And Dodge has a diesel too with Nissan. It's a Nissan diesel.
Really?
It's funny how they switch diesels.
That is pretty funny.
But they're all intermingled. They all make great trucks. My brother-in-law has the half-ton Dodge diesel. He gets like 30 miles a gallon.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty impressive.
It is impressive. Half-ton. He pulls his camper with it, so it's a pretty good-sized camper, and it pulls real good.
That's cool.
You know what? Half-ton, three-quarter ton, and 1 ton. Back in the day, trucks, that's how they were rated.
Yes.
But now a half-ton truck can pull a lot more than half a ton. And a three-quarter ton can pull a lot more than a three-quarter ton. And, but that's how, we came from that, small amount of pulling to what we do now. Like the half-ton trucks I looked at, 10,000 pounds towing capacity.
That's a lot.
That's a lot more than half a ton.
Sure is. It reminds me of something funny that Seinfeld said.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we still comparing the speed and power of our vehicles to horses?
Yeah. Why do we do that? Yeah.
He said, isn't enough already?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all the horsepower.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine, like 300 horses?
Or 500.
Like, on a wagon, and a guy goes, giddy up!
Yeah.
Just crack those reins, they take off.
That's funny. So you're thinking a smaller one?
I'm thinking I'm wanting a little fuel economy, but I live in a sandy area, and then when it rains and stuff and ice, and I don't know when it gets like when we have icy weather in Texas, because we really don't have snow, we have ice.
Right.
Everything in me says I must get out and drive, even though all the safety things, like when my wife works for the highway department.
They're like, please don't drive.
But I'm like, I have to go get my donut. I must get in my vehicle, and I must drive.
Well, now you have fields you can romp through, right?
Yeah, I have fields. And that's always fun, too, tie some type of sled to the back of the truck, throw a kiddo back there, and just get to, driving, trying to throw them, trying to get a hospital bill,
Exactly.
So trucks are a big part of Americana.
They are.
More so than even other countries, because you see their trucks. They're like sawed off, like somebody took a minivan and just cut the back half off. That's their wimpy truck. Those little Mitsubishi's Chinese little pickup
exactly
trucks.
What you're talking about.
They're like, you just took a minivan and cut the back 2/3 off and made a pickup, which is cool.
It is kind of cool.
Yeah, I love my vans. And
yeah,
I love SUVs and vans, but
because you're a van man right now.
I love my man van. It's like what I want in a truck, but I don't want in a truck. It's cargo space, fuel economy, comfort. But then what I want in a truck is tall, fast. I want my truck to be able to drive over your minivan.
Because that's necessary.
That is necessary. I want a big grill guard, so if I have to ram something with my truck, that I will be safe, but whatever I am choosing to ram will be hurt. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. So how soon? I mean, what's the time frame here?
I don't know. I'm looking at this Dodge half-ton my buddy's got. He's wanting to trade me some stuff for it. And it's a
really?
4x4, so I like it. It's crew cab.
What year?
It's a 2011.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the Horner clan don't normally buy brand new. We try to buy slightly used.
That's smart.
It seems like we used to just buy like 2-3 years old. Now it's like we're buying 6 years old. And now with more kids, we're like, oh, maybe we can get one in the next decade. Does it have a CD player? Yes.
Does it have air conditioning? That's smart.
I remember my dad now. I'm kind of living that part of my life, like my oldest is like, Dad, he'll see like a new awesome truck. He goes, you should get that. Totally get that, Dad. And I'm like, man, I can't afford that. I'm
No way.
lucky that you got ice cream money. But I remember being that kid. I remember my dad, I said, Dad, how much do you make? And he told me, And I was thinking, just looking at him like at 7 and 10 years old, like rolling my eyes, like, what do you do with your money? You totally waste it.
The worst financial manager ever. That's funny.
Yeah. But I love pickup trucks. And in boys, you see it immediately. My little boys, I mean, they were playing trucks this weekend. And that's the first thing they want to do,
Yep.
At the store, they normally don't sell the van as easy. That Volkswagen bus just sits there at Walmart or wherever.
Yeah, but the big trucks, the big trucks, tires, remote control trucks, those are cool.
Yeah, you never go to the sedan rally. It's always the monster truck rally. Come look at these sedans. 4-door, 2-door. No,
Didn't they have a big conversion van monster truck, though? I was thinking that there was one.
They do.
It was
I saw
cool.
a short bus jacked up with 4-wheel drive.
That's cool.
And he had the seat still in it, and he put seat belts in, and you could pay him $25
to ride around in it.
And it was crazy.
That is cool.
Really cool.
Monster trucks are awesome. So back to the kid thing. When I was a kid, we used to play with those Ertl trucks, farm stuff.
Yeah, they're cool.
And I always had this dually, 4-door dually, and I was like, man, I want one of those someday. And I actually got the privilege of driving one around for a few years.
Oh, that's cool. Ain't it nice when you finally get what you want?
Oh, that Chevrolet dually was awesome.
It handled, the dually, man, it's like the birthing hips of all trucks. I mean, it can put it back there, and that puppy, it ain't going nowhere.
Nowhere. That truck was awesome. I loved it. And, it was...
And my boys love dualies. I mean, it's just the lines, it's just man, that's a cool truck.
And they have those Western haulers.
With the lights and everything on them.
So legit.
Yeah, I liked it.
They look great.
It's like Christmas lights year round, man. It's cool.
Hardest place I ever drove my dually was downtown New York City.
Oh, that sounds bad. So that's the thing about pickup trucks. That's when I go into my van. Is you just can't go anywhere with it.
Yeah, we went to Austin a couple weekends ago. Took my pickup down there, and I was thankful that I had a short bed instead of a long bed. Because if we had a long bed, you can't park anywhere.
No. Yeah, I drive my pickup truck no matter if I'm going to Walmart, the supermarket, anywhere, church. I just go straight to the back parking lot and park it, and we're walking. I don't even look. But yeah, you go to New York with a dually. I don't know, man. That was crazy.
That was pretty crazy.
That's non-dually territory. It's bad enough in a minivan in New York.
Yeah. So here's a funny story. We were trying to find a parking garage, and so I'm on this just road, random side road, and this guy's got a parking garage, but you have to go down into it. And so I asked him, can I take this thing in there? And he's like, yeah, waving me in. So I pull down, and I go down this steep driveway underground, And I get to the bottom, and the guy down there working the garage is freaking out. He said, there's no way that I could just hear him screaming at his guys. There's no way that thing's coming in here. Well, by this time, I've got 2 or 3 cars packed up behind me. So here I'm in my big dually in this underground hill with cars behind me. And they've got to direct cars around me and
those
stop
New York
traffic.
people, they're just so friendly.
They're super friendly.
Yeah, that never honk or yell.
They were pretty nice about it, but
Yeah.
I ended up having to find an uncovered lot. I had to ask a police
That's
officer.
probably rare in New York.
Yeah. I had to ask a police officer. He told me where I could find an uncovered lot and paid $100 a day.
Whoa, $100 a day. That's
Yes.
some parking fees.
It was expensive.
Wow.
So, can't take trucks everywhere.
No, you can't. But I think the moon truck was a truck.
Seinfeld has a reel on that. Talks about he said there's nothing more manly than, he said, we got to the moon, so what do we want to do? We want to drive around.
Man, ain't that the coolest ride?
What else do you do on the moon?
Yeah.
Drive around,
Drive
look
around, man. That's cool.
That is cool. And NASA does have some pretty cool looking vehicles, you know.
Yeah.
You saw that movie Armageddon?
Yeah.
Remember those things they were driving around up there on that asteroid?
Oh, yeah.
That was really cool.
That would be cool. Need those in other places like Moab. We talked about Moab a while back.
Yeah. I bet there's some cool.
There's
Do
some
they
cool
do trucks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it's not just Jeeps.
No, not just Jeeps or Broncos or Blazers. They have like the Dodge Power Wagon, which
Okay.
that's the Dodge's really cool truck. It's like their Ford Raptor.
Okay.
Ford Raptors are cool.
They are cool.
Man, I'd love one of them.
Yeah.
And, the great thing about trucks, is they have a bench seat. And I always liked, because my little hottie, my sugar mama, angel in the sky, my wife, can sit right there in the middle.
Yeah.
I love that.
That would be cool. My
know,
truck doesn't. I have a center console.
Get you a standard, you know what I'm talking about?
What does it all mean?
She's straddling that standard. You're getting to shift gears. Oh, man. It is heaven. Country heaven.
Country living heaven.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Me and my wife, some of my most favorite times is with her and my truck doing mudding and four-wheel drive stuff. When we were dating, that's what we did. I have a crazy story about, I had a 4Runner, which is kind of an SUV. I put SUVs into the truck category.
Okay.
So if you can climb a mountain with it and pull something or tow a trailer, you're in the truck category.
Okay.
SUV. And so we're driving down this river. We're dating pretty early on in our relationships. I'm showing her, like any stupid young boy to do, how I can tear up my vehicle.
Nice.
And we're going up and down these banks. It's the Brazos River, and mud's going everywhere. It's sand. I get stuck on this sandbar halfway into the middle of this river, and the current's going pretty good, and the sand just washes out underneath all four tires, and my frame sets on this sandbar with the river going around me.
Nice.
And she's looking over at me, and I'm going back and forth, reverse, forward. There is no motion at all in this Toyota 4Runner. And I realize that all four wheels are turning like a paddle wheel, and we're not moving.
Yeah.
And water's coming in my doors. Our feet are already wet. It's almost up to the center console shifter.
Oh my gosh.
And I go, I think we have to get out. And I remember we were on a summer date. Maybe it was hot, but she was wearing nice shorts and a nice shirt. Here she is now wading through a muddy river in Texas.
She was not planning to get wet.
No, she was not. But we had fun, and I'm starting to oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Here I am, 19, 20 years old, don't have no money to be doing this.
Yeah.
Tearing up my vehicle. And this other guy, and by this time it was a place where a lot of guys in their trucks went.
Yeah.
He had a Z71. He goes, oh, man, I can get you out. And I'm thinking, yeah, you can get me out. So we pulled a chain next to us, and, man, he hits it, and boom, he gets stuck on that sandbar. And he has a lifted 3-inch body lift Z71, and he just sinks himself.
Just sinks.
All four tires. And now his comes barely into the floorboards, about an inch or two, okay? And so we're tied tight like a train. A Dodge Dually comes, flatbed, red. I remember it. And a big old heavy Bubba guy with a cowboy hat goes, "I can get you," and he pulls us tight. He gets stuck. He's halfway into the river, so his front tires are
On the bank.
but his axles just bury into that sand with the
Oh my
current
gosh.
because his back axles, where his dualies are, just the water just washes that sand on out.
That's crazy. So now there's 3 of you.
There's 3 of us stuck pretty good in this thing, and by this point I'm thinking, if these badass trucks can't get me out, it's just left here to be, fish sanctuary.
Calling the crane.
Yeah, calling the crane. Ice road truckers, whatever you want to call it. Those people up in Canada that always go and get those fancy vehicles that fall off a mountain. And this one guy in the Z71 goes, "I know a man who could rescue us." And God sends angels in manners that you'll never expect.
This may or may not be a situation like that.
May or may not be, but at the time, I still feel like it was an angel. And so we wait a few minutes. He makes a phone call. His buddy comes, and a early model Z71 white extended cab comes blaring, and I hear Metallica and playing, and it is like a cow. It's been on a ranch, this vehicle, I can tell, because every quarter panel has cow poop on it and dents all around it, okay? And it's rocky and sandy to get down to this riverbank, and he's coming down with some speed. And the back extended cab windows, the little flap windows, are flopping like dog ears in the wind. Just the latches must be broke on them. They're just boom. I remember him hitting the banks, water going everywhere, and the windows are rolled down. He probably didn't have AC. And a guy,
blaring Metallica,
and this would have been early 2000, right around 2000. A guy came out looking like Duck Dynasty, with a beard and everything, with a cigarette, 1-inch ash, cut off shorts, a biker vest.
They don't get much more redneck than that.
As redneck as I'll get. And I'll walk up to him thinking, okay. And me being a little church boy, I'm like, "Good Lord, who is this man?" And I go, "Can you help me, sir?" And he grabs me by the arm and he goes, "Hell yeah." Just tells me good old hell yeah. And I'm like, he doesn't say anything. Grabs like a 5-pound sledge in his hand and just gets to beating these chains off of us. We're all tied like a train, like I said.
Yeah. So the chains are tight.
He takes all those chains loose. Gets a spare tire with no rim, puts the chain and the spare tire in the middle, and then chains the first vehicle up. Gets a running start that is so fast, I'm thinking it's going to be like a Warner Brothers cartoon where the frame just stays and the rest of the body in the cab just rips right off. You know what I'm saying?
The tire acts like a rubber band.
Because when he goes to go, and I'm thinking, he is going way too fast. That is too fast. I would not do that. And man, he hits that thing with some speed. That tire works like some type of rubber band and bounces that diesel Dodge Dually out of the sand.
Crazy.
And I thought, well, that thing weighed a lot more than my 4Runner. Well, he might know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And he bounces every one of us with that tire and that chain. The tire was in the middle, and the chain went to each vehicle. And, he got a running start and bounced us all out. And
I don't even know how that would... Why does that work?
I think because the
momentum.
It acts like a small rubber band, and it's a strong enough inertia, that it will pop the tires out of that hole that they dug in the sand. But it worked.
That's crazy. You'd have never thought. I would have never thought of that.
In a testament to Toyota, I was flooded. We sat the 4Runner with the exhaust down on the hill.
Okay.
Waited. My wife now, girlfriend then, we were already muddy. So we just played in the river for the rest of the day. Jumped in that Toyota. It turned right on over, and I drove it until I sold it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had me a Toyota pickup truck.
Yeah.
Bought it for $75 from a guy at the director of the YMCA. Mm-hmm. Best truck I ever owned. I loved that truck.
I had another great Toyota story, but I will say this. Those militias or those warlords in third world countries, wherever, you never see them a Chevy and a Dodge or a Ford. What do they drive?
Toyotas.
It's some Japanese, Nissan, Toyota, most of the time Toyota. They're going across the desert of Africa, whatever, Iraq. You know, ISIS people. I mean, it's like ISIS with a 4-cylinder Toyota and a 50 cal mounted on the top. It's just like, that's their tank.
Yep.
Yep. So you got to give it. I mean, why don't they want American vehicles? I don't think they hold up as good.
I can't imagine.
But I once bought a snowplow truck too. That was one of the best things. Me and my wife just got married, and we couldn't afford full coverage insurance. So we saved up some cash. I found on eBay, this would have been in 2003,
Okay.
a Toyota Tacoma 81 model snowplow truck in Columbus, Ohio, outside of Columbus. It was only $800.
You lived in Texas.
Lived in Texas, okay? So I'm thinking, wow, this is an awesome truck. It had like this custom flatbed. The reason why, it had rusted so much that the flatbed, the truck bed had fell off. Disintegrated. We go buy this truck, fly first class for free on my father-in-law's tickets.
Nice.
So that didn't cost me anything to go get it, except my father-in-law had to pay for it. Thanks, father-in-law. And we get there. You know, this is before everybody really started taking close-ups on everything.
Okay.
And there's holes in the cab, like where we had to drive through some rainstorms in Missouri. I mean, like rainwater was coming in.
Oh, gosh.
The windshield had rusted around the edges. So rain would hit the windshield, water would be driving, and it'd just be like this drop hitting you in the face.
So a mist.
A mist. There's holes in the floorboard that, you know, you could... It was rusty everywhere. The frame had rusted into, and they'd taken heavy-duty angle iron and just structurally welded it together. But it had a cool flatbed pickup. It was like a wooden, all wood, and it was about the size of a queen-size mattress. And
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Watch out, buddy.
We'd take that to the drive-in, and we'd throw a mattress back there and pillows in my wife's lap, and we would sit back on that pickup bed and just watch movies.
That's cool.
Yeah, at the drive-in. Drive-ins are fun. You should still go to those.
There's where I was at in Indiana, in Kindleville, there's a big drive-in.
Yeah, there's one in Abilene near
like
here.
fun.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
And there's always 2 features. You know, you get to watch 2 movies.
Yeah, that'd be good.
They normally have a carload night, you know, just so much a car. So you can bring the whole family for whatever. But pickup trucks are cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, talking about the 4-wheel drive, I was just thinking, you know, everybody's like, oh, you'll never use your 4-wheel drive. I've used it.
I used it.
I'm not always getting it unstuck, but, you know, maybe it is you're pulling something out and you want to put it in low, just so every tire is just pulling real slow, and then you don't stress the truck out, you know, just...
And then ice days, I use it a lot on ice days.
Yeah.
It's better than 2-wheel drive.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. My wife had an all-wheel drive vehicle, and that was pretty great on ice days.
Yeah.
To a point where I would drive too fast, probably. Yeah.
Cisco has these Humvees. I want one of them. I want the black one.
Yeah, you see those military surplus. Man, they're cool.
They are cool.
And they're wide, too, man. Like, you put them behind a Ford pickup, and then you put a Humvee on the front or the back of it, and you just look at the width. It's like that Humvee just pooped out a full-size truck. It is so wide.
Yeah, it's like the width of a dually, the rear end of a dually.
Uh-huh.
The whole thing is.
It's really wide. It's cool.
Yeah, I want one. That's my dream.
Our buddy has a stretched Ford Excursion. That's a pretty cool vehicle.
Custom made.
Yeah, it's like basically a really awesome school bus.
Yes. Four-wheel drive.
You know you're in a high-dollar school district when you got your short buses are Ford Excursion stretched.
Because they cut it. They cut a regular Ford Excursion, and then they added another one on the back. So it's 6 doors.
I forgot how long. He told me how long it was. It was like 28 foot long or something. Really long distance. I'm like, good night. He goes, yeah, it's really hard to park.
I imagine.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you see some really awesome custom trucks.
Yeah. And my wife, she loves like big vehicles. Like we just bought her a Toyota Sequoia 4x4. She wants a truck, and trucks are a good way to have a date night. They bring in the romance.
Yeah, they do.
You can go camping.
Yes.
You can move things, get brownie points.
I think every guy needs a truck.
Yeah.
At some point.
At some point. I mean, I understand there's times you can't, but trucks are very cool.
You've got a toolbox in the back of yours? It's a mobile toolbox.
Yep, you got a mobile toolbox. You throw a ladder rack on it. You can throw a canoe, kayak, wood, lumber.
Yeah.
Make a tent.
Yeah, they've got those really cool tents that you set up in the back of your pickup.
Yeah. If I was to be a modern day Jeremiah Johnson mountain man, I would have like the coolest truck with like all this accessory camping gear that you could just drive up into the mountains.
Yep.
And have a camper on the back of your truck with awnings and everything.
That'd be cool.
They got cool, if you want to get out into the woods with a 4-wheel drive vehicle, they got some stuff.
And they've got some really cool off-road campers too now. Like they're smaller and light. You got the big mud tires on them. Man, those are cool.
Yeah, the coolest vans I always thought was the Chevy and GMC made a Astro minivan, but it was on a truck frame, half-ton pickup frame.
Yeah.
4x4, and they converted those into campers.
Yeah.
But they were like good gas mileage, small 4-wheel drive, towing so you could pull something because it's on a truck frame.
Yep.
And you could take it anywhere.
Anywhere. And they had conversion vans that were 4-wheel drive. And those are the best to travel in because the seats in the back were huge. They could fold down into a queen size, or probably more like a twin or full. But
yeah, there's a whole now thing with these young people who want to live in their van. They live in places that are their
by
truck.
the river.
Yeah, live in the van down by the river, like Chris Farley. But you live in New York or L.A. and you think, man, I can't afford $1,700 a month for an apartment. But I can afford my minivan or my truck and camper. There's a whole YouTube version of everybody, this is how I live. And they have composting toilets and outdoor showers, or they just they sleep in the Y. I know guys who just they have a gym membership. They like to work out, so they're just going to shower there. And, they.
Oh, that's smart. Get a gym membership, go work out, and then shower.
Yeah, you never hear about a guy doing that in a Toyota Corolla. But here's the thing. If a man's dating a woman, he can say, hey, let's go to my truck.
Yeah.
But he can't say, hey, let's go to my, Camry or whatever. The woman's going to look at him like, okay. He'll probably say no. So, you can talk love-making into a truck, but you can't talk it into a car as easily.
Yeah. Unless you've got a sports car.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's different.
That's totally different.
It's all about horsepower. Yeah. Lamborghini or something. Camaro, Corvette.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah.
I'd love to get Amanda a Camaro one day.
Oh, yeah.
It's her car.
You got before kids and after kids, and the way you choose vehicles.
Yeah.
Because I'll go to a single cab pickup once my kids are gone.
Single cab, really?
I like a single cab.
To me, the convenience of having the 4 doors and the extra seating and interior storage is.
I might keep my extended cab, for my weapons, my bow staff.
Your bow staff.
Some guy wants to come and hijack me in my truck. I'm like, hold on! I'm trying to whip around a stick. Let me flog you.
Yeah, to me, 4 doors just makes sense. I like the look of a single cab.
Yeah. You go back pre-2000, and it's all these single cab trucks and extended cab trucks. You go after 2000, it's just nothing but 4-door trucks, and it's the exact opposite. There was a major shift, like you said, that people's even people that their kids are grown and they never had kids, they want a 4-door truck. It's great for dogs if your dog's riding with
Yep.
you. Guest, you can take it out for the night on the
Take
town.
some friends, yeah.
It's funny, you see truck commercials. It used to be like, remember the Like a Rock commercial? And they were always going across some awesome terrain,
Yep.
or the Baja. They're going jumping sand dunes and stuff. Now it's like the Chevy's like pulling up to some red tie or black tie event, red carpet, and it's like, here's a black Chevy Silverado, and they're like getting out in nice clothes going in.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I mean, because the commercials, they even changed to where the lifestyle's changed.
Yeah. I love a truck.
I love a truck.
I'm a Chevy guy.
You're a Chevy guy.
And Toyota.
Ford Toyota's me. Yeah.
Ford Toyota.
Yeah. They didn't sell their soul, but yeah.
Yet.
Yet. Yeah. But it's funny. There's the following. You're a Chevy guy. I know people that are Dodge people, die-hard Dodge people. And I know Jewish people who won't ever buy a Ford because Henry Ford was real anti-Semitic.
Really?
Yeah. He had a magazine that was totally, before Hitler, that was just,
That's terrible.
yeah, it was a bad deal. So,
And guys definitely like to accessorize. They do these exhausts, they do these programming chips, and they, it's sort of the truck is an extension of you and your
Yeah.
personality.
yeah, and you can see it with culture too. Like the black culture, what they'll do to a truck is different than the Hispanic culture, and what a white guy will do to the truck
Yep.
is different too.
It's all different.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at a vehicle, and this is stereotyping, but you can tell, like, oh, that's a, Hispanic truck, a black truck, a white truck, or,
Yeah. A Japanese truck.
yeah, Japanese truck is always.
A rice burner.
Yeah. But we do that. You can tell, there's all these looks to it.
Yeah. So people come in the barbershop, talk about their trucks.
Yeah, all the time. They brag about it. The guy came in and
It's their trophy.
oh yeah, it is our trophy. It's where we put our money. It's where we spend a large portion of our life. And we all have reasoning why, and we all have the best deal. They come in like, oh yeah, let me tell you.
Get the best deal.
Like, oh, I basically stole it, and I'm like, yeah, every other 9 million trucks sold this year were stolen, in the sense of the bargaining.
Right.
I like the bargain, but a lot of people don't like the bargain.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's wheel and deal.
Let's will and deal. Yeah. Well, you got to throw in the DVD player. That's, you get, when the money stops being negotiated, then you start negotiating the accessories. Mm-hmm. You can say, okay, yeah, we'll settle for $20,000 for the truck, but you're also going to need to do a
Weather tech.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spray bed liner.
Yeah. I love the custom floor mats, those high dollar floor mats that are molded to your exact vehicle. Mm-hmm. I think that's WeatherTech.
Yeah.
Those are good.
They're awesome.
That's what I got my dad for Father's Day.
That's a good present.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, here on the barbershop,
Go get you a truck.
go get a truck.
Drive it like a man.
Be a man.
All right.
Get a truck.
Talk to you next week.
Time.
Yeah.
Okay, see ya.